Astute.
You say astute?
Yeah, I don't even know if that's a real word. I tried it.
That is a real word. That's a phenomenal word. Yeah,
they love the word. Oh man. Y'all see about Gladney, the cornerback?
Man, yeah, RIP.
RIP. That's crazy.
Car wreck, huh?
Huh?
It was a car accident, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We losing these young black brothers, these accidents, man, like it ain't nothing. It's crazy. All right.
Speaking of athletes, shout out to the Celtics.
Shout out to the Celtics. Look at
Oh, I'm talking about
they beat my Heat, man. They beat my Heat, man.
The Heat beat themselves, man. You got to hoop harder than that. Jimmy tried his hardest, but Jimmy got to hoop.
Bro, Stephen A. put it well when he said that Jimmy Butler is never going to be the greatest player on the best team in the NBA. Like, he can't be the best player on a championship team in the NBA. I kind of agree with that statement. Bro's really not that type.
Yeah, what? He was.
I feel like he was definitely that type throughout the playoffs.
But this is why they say he can't be though. He can't be because he's not lethal from the three, right? He's really not. He's a pretty good shooter, but he's not.
Do you have to be a good 3-point shooter to be the best player on the team?
But wait, I'm not done yet. So he's not lethal from the three, and he's not like a dominant big man. Like he doesn't dominate down low.
He dominates games though.
Yeah,
but because of
his brother would have hit that three, would have had a different conversation.
No, they would make
Jimmy Butler would have hit that three. If Bam or Kyle or any of the other people who play on that team would have hooped a little bit, just a little harder. We talking about something totally different.
But bro, do you feel like the Celtics are finna beat the Warriors in the finals?
I hope.
I ain't
gonna say I feel like, but I hope.
I don't think the Celtics or the Heat are gonna beat the Warriors. I'm already speaking past tense.
Depending on what Warrior team show up, they show up hitting their shots. Then yeah, it's really hard to beat them for anybody.
I feel like you believe in experience, though, bro. I feel like you believe in experience, and you know what's about to happen.
The Warriors play different in the playoffs. They really visibly have a switch that they hit. I still just don't want them to win.
Go Warriors. I can't even say. I tried to say go that C word.
Celtics. Hey, make sure y'all share this one too, man. I'm gonna put this one in the chat so y'all can share this one so we can get some more views. Run the views up. Please.
Are you putting lotion on?
Yeah, I'm ashy. I just saw my elbows.
That's good.
Yeah, I have ashy elbows on here. I should have got some Vaseline so DeMarcus can say something. He ain't said anything.
Why are you making that face? You ready to go? DeMarcus making that.
What's it? How you do it?
All right, what's up?
Hold up. What should I call this one? What should I call this one?
The light historians. The history of light.
The light historian.
Light historians. The history of light.
I'm trying to think of something about stories.
Nah, that's done. That's already. I already put that there.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, that's already there.
That was a joke. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I like that. I like jokes. Okay.
I gotta hit that cowboy. Fight through it.
Fight! Ready.
Like Javonte Davis. A fight like
boy.
They better leave that little midget alone.
Man.
I got it. Boom.
Y'all saw the meme that had old boy like Martin when he got knocked through the ropes.
Yeah.
He
talking about he a little guy. I'm just gonna beat him, just gonna whip him like my little kid. Shoot. And he had the nerve to say that he wanted to still fight. Dude, you didn't know where you was at. The ref kept telling you to go to the side. He's still trying to Put his hands up.
That
Boy,
boy
knees
legs was wobbly.
Yeah.
But they said him going through the ropes look like when you trying to get between your bed and the wall to get your charger.
Oh yeah, that's
I said he was just like leaning there trying to get in there. I was like, dang, it's crazy. Bro got slipped. I'm trying to figure out how to do this and I forgot. All right. This is gonna make sense.
Off. The boys didn't forget how to work the whole program.
Yeah, it's been, man, you gotta learn how to walk again. All right, so if I do this and I do this, all right, boom. Yeah. All right, boom. So I'm gonna put that in the chat for y'all. Boom. Boom. All right, there y'all go. So y'all can share that. Please, fellas, give me a notification when y'all do that. I know some individuals don't like to say nothing. Be having me lost in the sauce.
That's good.
A individual. I ain't gonna say some.
Too much sauce.
Too much sauce. Dun, 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 dun. If you feel attacked, what they say, a hit dog barks.
I'm done. I did that. That's your notification.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Undisputed champions of the USA. We got coming to you live from UT.
The US is the undisputed champions.
Undisputed champions. We got Nike. All right. So Nike, shout out to Nike in the chain. We got the chain going. What's up? Oh, we got Hook 'em. Yeah, I said that. We got Be a Light, you know what I'm saying? Be a Light podcast. You feel what I'm saying? We got DeMarcus's plants in the background. It's looking real green over there, looking nice, looking like they still flourishing, doing what they do.
Shout out 1-800-FLOWER.
Shout out 1-800-FLOWER.
Shout out whoever else want to sponsor us.
Shout out to whoever else is trying to drop the bag because we're not gonna fumble.
Hold on, you said 1-800 who?
1-800-FLOWERS.
Flowers.
We're
not gonna fumble.
Oh, still 1-800 who?
There we go. All right, we veterans now. Okay. Turn the sound off on that joint. All right, we good?
Let's get it.
I'm looking at DeMarcus' face. You good, bro? You got it.
I got it, but I done lost the whole screen. I don't know what I just did.
Bro, I used to do that all the time. It's all good, man.
DeMarcus friends is my friends, man. We'll be all right.
No, I posted it, but I can't get back to the screen that we on.
You just keep clicking, bro. Just keep clicking. You'll find us.
He's gonna hit X.
Cut the computer
out of this thing.
Man, let me go grab me some agua. 2 seconds.
Brought to you today by Smart Water. Please sponsor us. I'm gonna start plugging in commercial breaks for us.
Might as well start with commercial breaks.
This is behind the scenes footage.
Might as well.
DeMarcus, have you figured it out yet?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. Who you taking in the finals?
I ain't gonna lie to you, shoot. Been running and gunning. Trying to relax today. I got a headache for some reason. I can't shake it.
All right.
How's that, brother?
Good.
Get some sleep.
Sleep.
Oh,
Get some shut-eye.
Having old man problems, that random headache.
Bro, that's real talk, man. Them old man problems is definitely springing on the brother. Like I be walking and I be like aching now. Just random aches. My head be hurting too. I don't be knowing what it is, so I just go to sleep. Like I'll be feeling like when it starts doing that stuff, I just take a nap. Like that's just the time to take a nap. Is that what that means?
That's the best medicine. It really is.
Yeah. Y'all ready to get this thing rolling?
Let's do it.
Welcome back to the Be a Light podcast. It's your boy K.Sloan here with the homies.
J.Jones.
It's good, brother. Got the brain.
No. H-Town AG. What's up?
Yo. Then we got the wise, the wop, the wisdom, MrliftN'Go.
If you know, you know.
You know. Man. So it's been a minute. Let's talk a little bit about where we all at right now, man. Let's let the people know what we got going on these days. Catching back up. It's been a while, but we back. A lot of birthdays, a whole lot of birthdays, a lot of celebration. So what y'all brothers got going on out there in the H-Town, Fort Worth area?
Man, that's really been it. The whole work and celebrations, the whole month. Like, that's really been all we done. It's good though. It's a good point in life when you can do that. Go to work, go kick it with your people, enjoy, have a good time.
Yeah.
I have to agree with Nate. Just been working hard and playing hard on the weekends and traveling and celebrating. So we're to the point where you got to celebrate these birthdays, man.
Yeah.
Gotta have fun. Gotta celebrate. Appreciate that person. So.
No, I got to. I just got to that point now that I'm willing to celebrate my birthdays now. So I celebrated my birthday for real last time. I always felt guilty for celebrating, you know what I'm saying? Like I was, but now it's like, whatever. Like you gotta celebrate your life. I gotta take a break, celebrate life, be thankful.
Yeah.
Cause I could have lost it.
And that's the thing. Have fun, like you said, celebrate and also reflect. My aunt told me, like, on your birthday, at some point, like sit on the couch by yourself and just kind of reflect on the last years and try to get better from that. So like your birthday kind of gives you a point where you can be like, man, let me reflect on these last years and try to get better. So that's another thing you can do on your birthday. So.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. DeMarcus, what you got going over there, man? Like that brain, what you got going in that brain over there? What you been on?
Same thing. Probably working too much.
Working too much. Is there such thing?
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
There's a part where your body will tell you to stop sometimes. Or vice versa. Sometimes your brain will tell you to stop and your body keep going. Sometimes your body will tell you to stop and your brain keep going. So yeah. Yeah, it's too much of anything. It ain't a thing on this earth that you can't have too much of.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I was telling somebody a minute ago, I was like, man, there's too much candy to eat and there's too much of the carrots you can eat. There's too much of everything. It's like you can't go too far either side of anything. You got to kind of make sure you're in the equilibrium, find a little balance. Balance is important. And we're talking about that balance, man. I mean, let's kind of get into it, man. I wanted us to get on here for everybody, provide some value in a way that we have done in the past, but kind of a little more intentional. But I'm gonna share my screen real quick so everybody got our mission statement. So our Be a Light podcast mission statement is: we are number one, mentorship for mindset development, career ascension, education, and leadership cultivation. We're gonna be authentic, positive, respect all sex, race, religion, political views, preference, because we for all people. And then we always have a great sense of humor because it's a good time. It's a release for us. Men coming together to be able to talk about topics that a lot of men are afraid to talk about, being able to speak truth and not sit behind a facade or egos, just really stripping things down to the core of what they really are through the eyes of us. Of course, I mean everybody has perspectives and point of views, but if y'all want to share, man, let us know. Let us know. Drop that in the comments, put that in the message box. You guys can reach all of us. That'll be in the description box. So Instagram handles, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. So reach out. We're trying to unlock the light within y'all. So who want to go first with, what I'm saying? What we was going to talk about, man? I think, Dre, you said something about something that was real good. I wanted to, with the Bible and whatnot. Go ahead and dive into what you talked about with the Bible, what you wanted to
Oh, no, I was just saying we were talking about light. So I was just saying, in the Bible, God said, let there be light. And he said, when he saw the light, it was good. So like, that's just how the first thing I kind of read, because I did go to the Bible to find something. So that's kind of the first thing I read today.
Yeah. And I think it's crazy too, like, what I'm saying, when you look at the Bible, they say it's the good book. It got a lot of lessons in it. And in the Bible, you repeatedly see the word light used. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always like references to the light, going, you good? Bless you, brother. Bless you. But But what that light is, I feel like it looks different. Like we were talking about earlier, depending on where you coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like what a light is. Cause I think sometimes people think like it's all overly positive. But like when you saying let there be light, like I was telling y'all a minute ago, bro, they say there's two types of light. There's light that's too close that could blind you because it serves as a distraction, or it's the light that'll show the way. You know what I'm saying? The light that'll take you down the path where you want to go, and it keeps you stepping, you know, each day, each moment, each second. So to me, you know what I'm saying, when the guy said, let there be light, it's like, man, like, let there be hope, let there be peace, let there be love. Like, I keep striving for that every single day of my life, which is why I believe in the good book, because those lessons is, you know what I'm saying, you see multiple times of men, you know, backstabbing and betraying God, and all the while he's still there. You know what I'm saying? And still kind of providing that light. And that kind of shows us like, man, let's try to find a way to continue to be light. Let's find a way to continue to strive for that light, continue to believe in it, you know, because belief is where everything starts. Faith in things unseen, you know what I'm saying? So what y'all think on that though? What's y'all's mindset about what Jarrell just shared?
I think that's really everything. Like even in the literal sense of like what light is, right? You need light to show you what's going on. Then we talk about like something like faith, believing. I think a lot of times people need some things to reassure them, right? If you had a light and you saw, okay, I saw that there was a path there I can keep on walking for a little bit, I'm good, right? You believe that. You're more prone to believe that now because you had the light. Without it, you know, I think people become fearful a lot of times. It's probably a good word for it, but that I think in really every aspect of life, you always need to find a little bit of light, whether it's what's going to motivate you to take the next step in life, whether it's a light that's going to kind of say like shine on the inside or something and show you some things about yourself that you didn't know. All of those things are important. So that's why being a light and let there be light needs to kind of talk about that is always good, because I think that's always something that we're going to need.
To piggyback off of that, kind of like what was the pick off when they said, when there is darkness, you know, fear is elevated, confusion is elevated, not knowing where your path is. So you can be still in fear, not knowing where you're going. You can bump into stuff, stub your toe, all that stuff, right? You don't know where you're going. When you got a light, it lights the pathway. So even in the Bible, if most people don't know, not supposed to move by fear, because God is your light. And God is your light. You don't move by fear. You know what I'm saying? He says, "Fear not, for I am with you." So if God is with you and He's your light, you got the greatest tourist out there. He's gonna take you to all the good places, show you where to go, where not to go. You know, that's what everybody needs light for. If the world was just dark, man, I don't know the statistic, but I know Gerald taught me there's a time in Alaska when
it's dark. Yeah.
When it's dark, well, guess what? You know, everything rises. You know what I'm saying? Even suicide rises because people in the dark, and like is very intimidating, put it that way.
Yeah. That's my bad, bro. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say just like a kid, you know, a kid scared of the dark, think there's a monster on the bed. You come in there, you can console them and everything, but it's the best way to console them. Turn on the light. You don't see nothing, right? There you go.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, they say that's also why Seattle, I think they say in Seattle, suicide rates be really high. You know what I'm saying? Depression is really high statistically out there, because of like the I think it's rain and the overcast. It'll make people depressed, that darkness. But you know, like we always talk about the law of polarity, like there's two sides of everything. So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? If life is a coin, you could always turn head or tails. And if the dark side is tails, you could stay looking at tails as long as you want to. Like as long as you continue to turn your focus, you could keep turning back to tails, and vice versa. You could keep turning back to heads, which could be, you know what I'm saying, what we call the light, right? I think that's important for people to know. And like to me also, when we were talking about this, I'm thinking like, bro, the light is almost like an expectation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when you believe in the light, you set an expectation for life. Like you say that this is the pinnacle of life, is the light. Like everything should end up getting here. Like this should be what everything should be, is in the light. So at that point, then now life is gonna try to reach your expectation. You know, like that's why it's important to monitor your expectations. Like if you try to put I think if you try to put like everybody on a certain level, right? Like as humans, if you try to say everybody gonna eventually step into the light, everybody's gonna be, good people. Everybody's gonna love their neighbors. Everybody gonna be people of have a moral compass. I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure, and that's because everybody's not really ready to do that. But if you say you're gonna live a life that's gonna be in that accord, then what you do is you set the expectation for your environment to meet that standard, right? So if they can't meet it, then they can't be around you. And it can't survive around you. And I think that's what I think about when we talk about this. Like, it's like that light is like you create that light. So anything that doesn't want to, kind of get to that level falls to the wayside. Or if it does want to rise to that level, then it will. And then you magnify that light together, or, within whatever realm you in. So that's the beautiful part about the light, I guess, when you're talking about that to me. But kind of pivoting, bro. What's up, bro? What's up? What's good? Anybody got something to say?
Oh, no. I thought we were going to tell our stories. Like, that wasn't my story. That was just what I read. But
tell your story, bro. I thought that was your story.
Nah. I thought we were talking about. Well, go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Nah, go ahead, bro.
Come back around. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Who next on that story?
You are on the story. You storyboard, man.
Tell your story.
Tell the story.
Tell the story. Okay, so like you said, being a light, or time I needed a light. Like you said, when I finished playing football, I remember my last game. I sat in my locker with my helmet on, and I cried because I didn't know anything else I could do. Like, since I've been 6 years old, I played football. Yep. So I remember that day, and I was just like, what is my life now? So like, I remember talking to advisors in college and everything, and they were like, maybe you can coach, maybe you can teach, coach football, that can be your life. But I remember going to Hardin Simmons, and Dr. Bob, R.I.P. to him, he brought a different light to me, because he told me, like, coaches can also be counselors. And really, that's what they are. Coaches wear 25 different hats. So when he taught me, or he asked me to join the counseling program, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. Like, I never even thought about being a counselor. But actually going through counseling to get my master's in counseling gave me a new light. And I thought I can only like motivate kids while they were playing sports. But like what I'm doing now, I'm still motivating people. And it's actually motivating people to live instead of trying to kill themselves, commit suicide. So I guess, like I said, that light was brought to me so I can give light to other people. So that was my real story.
Hey, that's beautiful, bro. That's real talk. That's beautiful. I feel the same way though. That was a dark time for me too, though. I don't know if y'all can attest to that, but that official moment in sports when you done, like, it's like, dang, like, I'm done, like, because we played pee-wee, middle school, high school, you going to camps, you play all these sports, and then now it's like I gotta live a regular lifestyle. That was, for an athlete, that's an underrated struggle. People don't really people talk about it, but I don't think that people truly understand unless they've been there. And that's something that when you get there, you have that identity crisis. Who am I? What am I? And you got so many options. Most of them look like coaches, teachers, you know what I'm saying?
Really the only option at first when you think about it. You're like,
yeah, because that's who all your partners did that. All your partners did that. All your friends, all your closest people, teammates, the people you looked up to. It's like, dang, like, what else up? Like, how did y'all, Nate, how did you and DeMarcus, I'm curious, how did y'all not turn into coaches? I mean, this is like a sidebar. Like, how did y'all not, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Nate was on the path.
Yeah, that fit exactly what we're talking about, man. Like a light going off. I would tell Israel every day at practice, where people are inside getting paid. We don't have to be out here doing it. And the more I would say, like, it really meant something in my head. And I was like, I actually don't think I want to do this. Like, it was always my simple plan, like going to coaching, cool. Like he said, we was on the path. We out there at practice with a little high school. And it just, like, the light kept getting brighter for me. Like when I really say sometimes it's a light that go off and need to show you that's not for you, or maybe what my feelings are have changed about something. Like, pay attention to that kind of stuff. And it worked out good. I don't miss that I stopped coaching football. I miss playing for sure, but like not going the coaching route, I'm good with it. Like, still became an educator, which didn't really see that, but that kind of took me on a different path in life too. Like, being a football coach was going to be number one. I became a college professor instead. So, it's a little bit different. And I think that's sometimes a good thing. You can learn some different stuff about yourself. I think you can explore different options that you maybe would have never considered when you pay attention to those little light bulbs that go off.
I feel that. DeMarcus, was your path like that too? Like, you kind of always knew you didn't really want to do? Nah, you was.
I was playing football, and then everybody was getting their scholarships and stuff, and we had, where did Blaine go? Blaine went to New Mexico. He went to New Mexico, and it was just my position and flex and everything. He came to see me and was like, "Oh, I thought you were taller."
Yeah, no, this is it.
But I had that moment, when you play your last game. Mine was different because, like, I knew it was kind of bittersweet because my last game was winning the championship. But I'm the oldest, and kind of the way my mom, watching my dad and listening to my mom, it was always keep moving. So I was steady moving, trying to, even though I wasn't really going a certain direction, I've always kept moving, man. Like, it's like, like in football, like when you make a tackle, they said keep your feet moving. Like, I've literally all my life, I always kept moving. Like, people know me from working or being dependable or going here, going there. Like, I literally always kept moving. And then I found my way through life. Like, I'm pretty much like the unlicensed counselor to a lot of people because I've experienced stuff. I've read a lot. I've self-taught myself a lot. But then I have this, I think, a blessing, this ability to kind of see different perspectives. As long as you can, if you can tell it to me, and I can see your perspective. Like I've always said, even since I was in high school, I've always said, man, I believe I can sit across from a member of the Ku Klux Klan and see their perspective. Not saying that I agree with it, right? If you can explain it to me, and I can see it, and then hopefully we can move forward. I didn't know that was counseling back then, and the field of psychology and understanding the mind and the habits and stuff like that. But I learned through life.
Yeah.
If you take me, I would tell people never stop moving. But when you stop, sometimes you need to stop or slow down to view your environment and see which way you need to go. And don't just stop, because when you stop, I think I've told it on here before, like I lost everything. I was homeless for a little while, and even homeless people was like, "You're not supposed to be here."
Yeah.
But even though I didn't have it, I was still moving. You know what I'm saying? Like I was still trying to find a job. I was still trying to do this. My pride wouldn't let me tell people that I was in that predicament, but nobody knew it because I was still moving. So I don't know if that's great advice for everybody, but for me, that's how I found my way. And to go back to what y'all was saying earlier, this goes for men and women both, but especially for men. Don't let one thing determine who you are. We are multifaceted, man. Don't let sport that what y'all talk about, what we're talking about. I mean, y'all did on a high level, but they got people in there on the NFL. I'm not gonna put his name out there, but I worked with somebody who won a Super Bowl, and we was working together in Walmart. And it's just like, dude, like, don't let that define you. Like everywhere you go, you're like, oh, you're a Super Bowl winner. You're a Super Bowl winner. No, you can be so much more. Like, it ain't. Like I used to tell Gerald and then whenever Don't let entertainment be the only way that people define you. And guess what? Playing sports is a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
We so much better than that. I have seen people do great things, but that's one of them. But don't get stuck thinking that one thing defines you. You can do so much more. I mean, look at the guys that's on here.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, bro. I agree with that 100%, man. I think that's the societal pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like society says that you are very valuable to us because you able to produce on that field, or you able to produce in that office, or you able to have this many degrees. And then sometimes, you start to actually believe it. Like you be like, damn, like, okay, well then I guess this is my value. So then if it gets taken away from you and you put all your marbles in that basket, then now you sit here scrambling for the pieces of them, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to get as many marbles back as possible to be able to say, well, I still got some of it. And it's like, really, that was only a part of you. And truly, so I guess this kind of pivots into like what I want to talk about a little bit, if y'all don't mind. There's like this guy named Myron Golden. I kind of started listening to him recently. And he talks about like the be, do, have principle, right? So he says that in order to make things happen for your life, like people always get stuck on, if things get hard, you got to do more. You know what I'm saying? Like if it get hard, that's what we always say, try harder. Like just keep trying until you get it. But he says the be, do, have principle says you have to become the person that can do the things that you need to do to have what you want to have. So when you're doing certain things, right? He says it's an output. It's an output action. The input is the fact that you become somebody. Like you build up who you are as a person so you can sustain what you do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, like working out.
Exactly. Like working out. It's like you do something, you harvest those seeds and then they grow, you know what I'm saying? You grow into the tree, but you growing because of what you did in the past. You become the tree. Like you already put that work in to do that inner work. And then like boom, so like with that, bro, I feel like when you become like a great person, like I had said this on one of my videos, I was like, I think that it's important to be a good person because when you're a good person, good things happen in your life, right? It kind of saves you a little bit from that like pigeonholing yourself. Cause I think a lot of times we do pigeonhole ourselves to like money and stuff like that. Like I did it before. Like I remember when I was working at OPSU, like, talking about stories, I was working at OPSU and I was doing my thing over there and working and, giving them everything I had. And my daughter was far away. I wasn't making the type of money I wanted to make, but I was cool because I was sacrificing for my passion. But it was like, I was placing all my value in the titles they were giving me, right? So the titles had me feeling like, hey, this is all worth it because I got these titles. But all the while, I'm the most depressed I've ever been in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like probably at that point, and I couldn't fathom letting that go. It almost like hurt me. It's like I put in all this time, I put in all of this to be this, and society sees me like this. But it's like you're not happy, bro. Like you could do other things, but I couldn't let that go mentally. It was like a grip on my brain, bro. And it was like people were reinforcing it too. Like people would tell me, like, hey, bro, you doing good. I was talking to Jarrell, you know what I'm saying? We was coaching at the time. Like, bro, you good. Like, you straight. You a special teams coordinator, recruiting coordinator. I'm like, yeah, you right. And I felt like I was doing good. But, inside, like deep down, I wasn't being the person that could sustain that lifestyle. It wasn't me. I feel like that's why I had to end up leaving it. I packed up and left in the night type. You know what I'm saying? Took the night train on that deal. But I had to, bro. I couldn't. I would have outed myself, I think, if I would have just kept going down that path. And I think it's important for people to be able to identify when you are basically, labeling yourself. Like you can't label yourself based on what society says. You have to really become, all of who you truly are, so that the stuff that you do, it matches who you are. But you gotta know who you are first, or else you gonna start having stuff that you don't want. You be out here walking around with things that you just they have no value to you. Like I was talking to my partner about that the other day, bro. He was like, bro, I can't, I don't understand how all these things I wanted, I got, and I'm unhappy. It's like, dang. Yeah, all these things he wanted, he has it now. He's telling me how unhappy he is. I'm like, dang, that's like when you gotta go inside yourself, bro. Find out what's the truth.
all the things he wanted, were they all material or was they?
Yeah, something like, you know, he's hit certain goals. Some of that stuff is material. It's a lot of the stuff that he said he wanted 5 years ago. He received it now. But now on the other end, after receiving it, he didn't feel the way he thought he was gonna feel at the receiving point. Once he got it, now he's sitting here like, nah, what next? You know what I'm saying? And I was sitting there talking to him like, you know, that's the conversations we have on this podcast in regards to being that light, unlocking our light, because our light is what's gonna save us, our gift. You know what I'm saying? Making a way for us is what's gonna take us through different dimensions. Like bro he doesn't feel like he's ready to go to different spots in his life because he was locked on those goals. He got those goals, and then now it's like, now what? You know what I'm saying? Now what?
That's
and
an
I think
interesting topic for a future podcast. Like, your goals really for you.
Say it again.
Are your goals really for you?
Yeah, I think goals should be revisited constantly, like almost damn near daily. I feel like it's like depending on it's context, bro. It's so contextual. It's like it could always, like, you can have something happen tomorrow that changed everything, and you have to really restructure. Like, you could keep the core of the goals, right? But some of those things, the dynamics got to switch, because if you just blindly say I'm gonna keep moving towards that, beelining, you're gonna get there. You're gonna be so off the path, it's gonna blow your mind.
That's true.
Straight up. But man, we could pivot a little bit, man. What y'all fellas got on this unlocking that light, you know what I'm saying? So we can be able to let these people tap in. Story
I said
time.
a couple of podcasts ago, like, it's about knowing yourself, right? Use your light to reflect, man. Look back, like you said, with birthdays. Look back, you know, kind of consider your last year of drills. But self-reflection, I think, is the biggest form of light you got. Because if you can honestly look back at some of the things that you've done, the choices you made, and understand them, not necessarily rationalize or justify them for yourself, but understand who you were at that point to make a decision like that, whether good or bad, and continue to use those things to grow off of. I think that's like one of the biggest things that I use as far as a light person. You know, just trying to understand why I was thinking the way that I was, why I was moving the way that I was, and that helps you grow as you move forward.
Man, and you know what, bro? I feel like also, I don't mean to hog the mic, y'all, but I feel like also that kind of reminds me of like getting that practice through empathy. You know what I'm saying? Like when you practice trying to see other people's point of view, it allows you to go retrospective and be like, hey, like, this is what I was thinking, and helps you kind of get back into your own, you know, understanding of yourself. Like when when you start to practice that with other people, like listening to other people's problems and being able to identify with their problems, even though it's not your problem. Like being able to say, like, man, like somebody that they were saying that's why people love watching movies. Like people love watching movies because they say we get into the mind of the main character. Like we start to go on the walk of the main character, and they hit that conflict, and we feel that conflict. And when they have their triumphs, we feel those triumphs. We it's like a dopamine rush. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that we should be doing, and do it for ourselves, bro. Straight up. But
DeMarc.
You know, I took a whole another route, but you know, we that old song, "This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine."
yeah.
Kind of ties everything together that we all been talking about. But I was looking at the anglerfish.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fish that has the quote light on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the one that the stem of flesh glows in the dark, and he got the big long teeth or whatever. And I was saying that like, create your own light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let my light shine. Well, this fish lets his own light shine, and for the main part, that's how he eats, because it's a lure to smaller fish or whatever, you know, to feed him. And I was using that, like Kerry said, metaphorically, to, you know, to feed yourself, kind of how you were saying about your homeboy, like to feed yourself, you have to let your own light shine. yes, you have light to illuminate your path or whatever, but how we were saying at the beginning, if you don't step into the light, then you're still stuck in the darkness. So if you let your own light shine, you could trust your own light, and the God in you or whatever you believe in, like whatever's in you shines outward in front of you, it illuminates your path. And this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And as you let it shine, people see you, but not so much as people seeing you. You get to move how you need to move and how you feel is right. And I think a lot of us, not a lot of us, I don't know the percentage. I would love to know the percentage. I think a lot of us live a life that is illuminated for others. Not really shining for themselves.
Hold on, say that one more time.
I think a lot of us live a life that is illuminated for others. It's not really shining for ourselves. Think about the and I hate to remember her in this facet, but it's just how I know her. I want to say she was a beauty queen or something that was a lawyer, and she had all these things that she achieved. She ended up committing suicide because her life was not what she like. It wasn't moving from the letter that she wrote. It wasn't moving how she wanted to move. And she achieved to everybody else. She was the top of the list. She was the best catch in the world. She was beautiful. She was smart. She had money, but I also just like what Kerry said, like sometimes you do stuff and you wonder if is it really for you or is it for others? I think it's dangerous. Like we gotta live for family and friends. That old cliche, you gotta love yourself first. That's major. The older I get, the more I understand that.
Yeah.
I gotta put me first, Lucius.
First. Hey, don't Kendrick Lamar got a song like that? Like I Chose Me or something like that. A new one he just dropped. Like I Choose Me. I can't think of the name. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what it means, man. Some people do better at that. I think selfish people do better at doing that than unselfish people. It's almost like, when we talk about self-care, why self-care is such a negative thing. When you look at it from a side of, oh, it's just for you, like you're not doing that for nobody else, it's just you. And people be like, well, that's selfish. But then it's like, well, when do I take time for me? Like there has to be a time for me. And
I'm saying that self-care allows me to care for others. That's the thing. I need to be selfish for this time to allow me to refuel, give me some fuel, give me something I need to go fuel other people. So it's really selfish, but it helps at the end of the day. It helps everybody else in the end. So
yeah, especially when you in a job or you in a career field or you have a passion where you give to others so much. You know what I'm saying? Those are people that do a lot and they have all these accolades and they give. And then at the end of the giving, at the end of the day, they're empty and they don't have anything to refill, but they're going to go out and give again tomorrow. Like they're going to exhaust themselves because they believe in it. They love what they do, but they're not loving themselves. And I think that's like the teacher's curse. I see that in the teacher profession all the time. I mean, think about it, y'all. I'm sure y'all all had teachers that was like that. Like y'all had a teacher that just like was giving, their time, their effort, their resources. They was giving y'all, different, activities to do and all that stuff. And then they ain't had nothing for themselves. You look at them, you like, man, like I don't want to be you. Like you looked at them like you are not somebody I want to be. Like I'm keeping it a buck, bro. Like I'm a teacher, so I see it. And it's like, I wish that more would take the time to take care of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like take the time to love yourself, man. Just remove yourself because distractions are just that. Like they gonna distract you, and the love that you give for other people, it's like that light, the wrong light, the light, the distracting light. It's too bright. It's too much. You escape from reality. You just always in flux. You know what I'm saying? And then you get dropped off at the end.
That's why words is important, man. Because the opposite of selfish is what? Selfless.
Selfless.
Why would you put yourself less than other people, right? It's not a bad thing to be selfish. That's the old cliche saying you can't pour from an empty cup. All of those things, like what y'all saying, you have to take care of yourself. It's only one you only got one shot at it. So you have to consider yourself in most situations. And I think there are ways to consider yourself and also consider other people. Doesn't mean you have to become like the bad guy, whatever, just because you're being selfish. But you always got to take care of yourself. That's the most important thing you got in the world.
Yeah, that's just like the fish. The most important thing to him is, of course, to keep eating and keep going. And I was reading where they can make it move, look like, bait and whatever else. And it's an ugly looking fish if I ever seen it. But hey, he can go into some of the darkest places and eat where he's not being preyed on as much. And he keeps on living. Like I said, you got to have fuel to keep moving, or you're going to perish from this earth and become a story, and you don't get to fulfill your life. He has on his shirt, "Be a light." He ain't saying turn on a light, he's saying be a light.
Yeah.
Your own light. Turn your light. Your light is your light. Be a light. Man. Your light may cause somebody else to see what they see in you and turn their own light on. But if everybody turn their own light on, the world would be a better place. But your life would be 100 times better. I guarantee.
And if everything around you dark and you the only light you see, then maybe you the light to light the way. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you the light that need to be lighting the way for right now until somebody else can turn their light, find their light, and then everybody else can help each other. And then, maybe your light won't be the only one that's dependent upon, but I mean, you have a duty to this planet, man. Like you gotta do what you're supposed to do. Like you gotta find yourself. And I think that's not what society says. It's what you ultimately find joy, find a passion in, find strength within. So knowledge of self is important. So yeah, that's a good little story right there. And Nate, what you got, brother? For the I called him. I didn't want to take the guy.
I figure out what my wife's doing in the other room. I'm hearing some weird noise on the TV.
I thought that was
man, it's everything that we saying, bro. Like you just mentioned spreading the light, using your light for yourself. I think all it really, we use that as a metaphor, I think, but what that really to me at the end of the day means is just going back to knowing yourself, knowing what's going to move you, knowing what motivates you. Those are the biggest things in the world. I think a lot of times that's where people kind of get hung up or not moving forward in life, or getting stuck on the wrong path or going down the wrong path, whatever it is. If you know what really moves you and what's going to continue to move you, maybe that's going to change. But continue to do those kind of self-reflecting things where you can continue to progress. I think that's the only way you actually grow. That's maturity. That's evolving throughout life, and that's really what the goal is, right?
Absolutely. And I think going into that maturation process, bro. Kind of like I guess in closing, in this whole idea, what I want to talk about was like this like the issues that we run into now, right? With a constant dishing off of responsibility. So I think a lot of people are running from responsibility in this day and age, and you can see it across a multitude of situations. I think that situations, and we praying for the families of the the Uvalde situation with the kids, and the active shooter that went in there. I pray for all those families and everything that happened. I think with a situation like that, I think with multiple people out here just doing heinous crimes, it's like a dishing off of responsibility that's happening to children. Parents not enforcing the responsibility in children, and these children becoming adults that don't know how to respond, right? So like I was like kind of doing some research on my own, and they were talking about like how like whenever something happens, you either react or you respond, right? So when you got a better ability to respond, they said that's like respondability. Like it's like responsibility. That's like responsibility. That's what it is, right? So they say like when you teaching kids, you're supposed to go like, you start out with the obey, or suffer kind of idea behind responsibility when they're young. So like when they're real young, you teach them how to obey or suffer. So you have to understand rules as a person. Like everybody needs to understand a basic level of rules. A lot of people don't have that understanding. So they fly off the handles when, authorities tell them what to do. Or they fly off the handles when anybody is trying to be able to direct them in a certain direction that, the collective unit needs them to go in. They just rebel against everything. So they never got that at a young age. So this has the first level of teaching responsibility. Then going into like the training level, which is like teaching a child how to respond using the reasons, right? So, you first learn, okay, I either obey or I suffer. Okay, boom. Then you teach them the reasons why you have to obey or suffer. Like, hey, you have to obey because if you do this, then this is what can happen. Oh, okay. So if I do this, this is what can happen. Oh, it's a consequence to that. So boom, you go from that point, and then they say you go into transition, which is where like you as a teacher or whoever you are, coach, whatever, parent, you let the child, go out and explore and learn on their own, but they transition, but you kind of keep like a ready hand to be able to kind of support that kid. And that process allows people to have responsibility. And I think, when we talk about lack of responsibility personally, speaking from my own account, I did not take responsibility a lot of times in my life because I thought, like we talked about identifying yourself as something. I thought that I was going to get saved by my ability to do certain things in life. Like I thought because I was really good at a few things, I could act how I wanted to act. And I did get punished, but I didn't understand the reasons behind why I was getting punished. I just got my ass beat. You know what I'm saying? Like I cut up and I was getting beat. And I'm just like, man, like, I'm like, dang, I got beat down for that. I'm gonna make sure I don't do that part no more. But I didn't know why. I didn't understand why. So I would find another way because I was smart to do what I wanted to do. And what I'm saying, not listen to everybody that I didn't want to listen to and stuff like that. Teachers would get blown off. But that responsibility piece is where you actually are understanding the inner workings of why I can't do things like this. Why, being a thinker, being a individual thinker and being able to understand things for yourself. And unlocking that light, bro. I feel like we gotta be able to be responsible in our responses, bro. Like you can't just be flying off the handle. Like I can't tell you how often an emotional response is evoked out of us, man. Just at a whim, bro. It don't take nothing. Like people know how to hit our buttons, and when they do, it's like once you give into that, then you are no longer walking in your light, bro. You now in the darkness. Like you your shadow self. Like you don't understand yourself, so your buttons are exposed. You know what I'm saying? You walk around with your heart in your sleeve. You can't be trusted. You can't lead a family. You never gonna be, at the forefront of anything. Can't be trusted. So, I mean, what y'all think about that, bro? What y'all think?
That responsibility is on the parents.
I think that it starts with the parents.
Yes.
Because go ahead, bro.
No, I'm saying like parents, well, a village, whoever's around, because like I said, this generation, they don't like to be laughed at, but they will laugh at everybody. They don't like to lose. They love to, like, it's like, I mean, nobody likes to lose, but they can't handle losing, but they love to win. Yeah. So it's almost like you do have to, the parents, the village do have to like teach them that like life isn't gonna be all, fairies and happiness. Something's gonna happen. And how you respond to that really is how your life, the path you're gonna take. So if you respond, if you just say, hey, next time I reflect, I did that wrong, I can do this next time. Or if something bad happens, you just say, oh, well, that's okay. Like, I'm about to go mess up somebody else's life because my life messed up. Like, they should learn that as kids. So, yeah, I think it's the village around them that should teach them that. They need to learn. You're going to take some L's. Like, it's a lot of kids that get bullied or, like I said, get beat up and they go shoot somebody. It's okay to take an L. It might help you at the end, So
we fighting. I like you said. We need to switch this whole thing up, but y'all know.
Are you good, bro? You good?
I got a whole bunch of kids, but I got 4 kids. But I talk to a lot of kids. I got goddaughters. I got other people kids. They want me to talk to everything, right? And the common thread with kids now is they want freedom. And we talked about this before. Freedom comes with responsibility. You gotta understand the responsibility to understand freedom, because you don't just get freedom just to be free. But social media, wherever this false information comes from, I don't want to put it just on like TikTok or social media, but nobody, like y'all said, nobody wants to correct it. So it's hard for a single parent, or not a single parent, like a single household, because we had them for so long, then they go out into the world, and the world teaches them to combat what's being taught at home. So that village sense is kind of hurting, kind of fighting against each other, because we'll tell them about freedom and understand responsibilities and cause and effect, and like Kerry was saying, like obey, disobey, punishment. Okay, now we get to responsibilities. Now we get to the point to where, okay, you didn't handle real responsibilities, so understand something's getting taken away. Phones, the right to stay up, whatever we can take that, and then we got to find something that means something to them. And
Exactly.
the number one thing that means to most kids is their phone, because that's how they interact. But then they find different avenues, or they go out in the world, and it's like, oh, the parents are being this, or we had this freedom, we had that freedom. Our kids then get a taste of it till we start letting them go to other people's houses. And then when they go to other people's house, they see all this freedom, and they see that their parents really don't care. We've had a kid that go to another kid's house, and their parents drunk, fall out on the couch. They don't know what they're gonna eat and everything. Then they come back, with this sense of gratitude. But that village sense, we're fighting against each other. Everybody wants to take everybody in a different direction.
Now,
The village is not as strong as it used to be to me.
I think the village. I would say that the village always been kind of wild though, because when you look at it, the village incorporates every. I mean, the ecosystem of your environment, your neighborhood. I mean, you don't know what's at work. Depending on where you live, there's a lot of different things that's at work going on in that little area. And then, it's also expanded into the cell phones, like you're saying now. So that's also a part of our village now with our kids. So we got to be almost more aggressive, talking about as parents, as, protecting our children in regards to what they're exposed to. But going back and dialing back to what you're saying about, the obey and suffer, like with the stages I was talking about, bro, it's like falling back on training is what this makes me think about. Like with the Army, right? When the Army, they get soldiers ready, they take them to basic training, and then they put them through rigorous training, and they make it extremely hard for the soldiers. You know what I'm saying? They put them through strenuous situations. They almost make them hate life. But then they come out on the other end and they understand how to be a soldier, right? So when they come out to the world, I don't know if y'all know people that like go into the service that came out, but they almost different people. Like everybody I know that went to the service and came out, they was different. They was just basic training. They came out basic training. I was like, "Damn, bro, you good?" Like, I mean, because it just was different. Like whether that be however it was, they were different, and you could tell they went through something, and it made them closer to their comrades and things like that. But why I'm saying this, bro, is because like we put our kids through basic training. Like we put our kids through what we believe in our house, because they say like you could tell who you are by whose you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who's your parents? Like you could tell. I know who you are. Just like these kids walking in my classroom, bro. I know exactly what their parents is like. Like it don't even be like I know, because they say certain things, their reactions, like the way they kind of like immediately respond to certain things, or maybe how they are a little more reserved. Kids take on the characteristics of the people closest to them, and the ones that don't have those support systems, it seems like who they latch to, you see that as well. But I think, bro, like when you talking about the environment, bro, like it's just our environment is gonna change us. Like I think there's no way around that. Like your environment will change you. It could change you for the better or for worse, but I think it depends on your foundation. Like, you learn how to be responsible from the foundation that was built for you going into this world. And then you get into this world, and then your environment does change you. You're gonna graduate high school, you're gonna be out there in the world, and then now it's like, oh snap, like people really shiesty out here. People really are good out here. There's, you learn just different things about the world. And then as you develop, then them old lessons come back, them principles come into play. You like, oh, this is what moms was talking about. Oh, okay, this is how, granddad was trying to tell me to maneuver here and there. And then that's how you build from there. So I guess when I'm talking about that, you know what I'm saying?
So take that.
Yeah.
You putting everything in a funnel.
Right.
And you, like you say, in the military, you're able to control pretty much somebody from sun up to sundown. They give a little time to themselves, but even in the military, like you said, people know that you're from the military, so they know that you can't do this, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. You take that part out, and I have seen with cell phones that access of so much information, and like you said, the village became 100 times bigger because they cell phone are taking them all the way to China if they really want to. Like they learn other things or whatever. So to get that back into that funnel, that's why I say I don't think our village is as strong as it was, because everybody's like, oh, you can do this or you can do that, or you can come over here and learn this. Like my daughter was telling I don't care, she my daughter. So she was telling me that she had Tourette's, and she walked in the house like, oh, I got Tourette's. I was like, you don't have Tourette's, okay? So you can stop speaking that because you don't have it. Yeah. Let me show you what it is. Then when you show them and tell them and inform them, it's almost like unlearn to relearn. I gotta take this away from you, then I gotta reteach you the right way, because your environment has taught you something totally different, and it's not that.
But isn't that life though? But isn't that life like learning the wrong things and being corrected and fixing it? And
the correction part is you a teacher. You know better than I do. The correction part,
you know too, bro. You got the wisdom.
No, I'm saying the correction part, I think it's a little more difficult with kids now because everybody telling them they right, or everybody telling them they got the freedom to do what they want or be who you want. And yes, you do have that, but you have to understand first who you are, what you're trying to be, and whose you are, and stuff like that before you can say that you need this freedom. But they want to skip that step and go straight to freedom. Like, I talked to our kids. We talked to our kids last week, a couple weeks ago. And it's like, we want more freedom. Like, freedom to do what? Yeah. We just want more freedom. Like, freedom to do what? Yeah. That's what they hear. So they're like, well, you want more freedom. Like, what freedom are you not getting?
Yeah, and they talk about that. They talk about that a lot in the school system. Like, they talk about how, I mean, it's really, they talk about it, but it's still an issue, which is choices, right? So everybody wants to feel like they are making choices. Everybody wants to feel like they're not being told what to do, but they're actually choosing where they're going, even if that's a perceived freedom. You know what I'm saying? And our, our youth, like, they do want, they want to feel like they making their future at all times. Okay. But we know the reality of that is all our kids not ready for that. But we have to kind of, give them that supervised freedom, so to speak. Like, give them the choices. But it's like, I didn't grow up like that. I grew up like, my mama told me what to do, I do it. I'm gonna get smacked, you know what I'm saying? But that ain't these kids no more, because they're exposed. They're so exposed to so much, bro. It's just like, it's almost like, you overstimulated. So it's like, because you have so much stimulation, it's like, as parents, as leaders, as coaches, as whatever you are, when you're dealing with people under you, subordinates, you almost have to be like, okay, I'm gonna lay out the consequences clearly and concisely, so you know exactly what's gonna happen if this happens or if this happens. So because hey, look, you got the freedom. You technically can make a choice you want to make, but it's gonna come with something, right? Positive or negative. It's gonna come with something, and you have to be able to stomach that.
This is why I implore so many people to raise their kids. You're supposed to teach them right from wrong, right? Show them the way to go. You're supposed to be the light into your kids' path to kind of show them the way that they're going. So I think with everything y'all talking about, that's the real thing. Raise your kids, be there to really educate your kids and show them. And talking about the village being weak, the more people that are doing that, the stronger of a village you get. Right? So we don't have to have that conversation about how weak it is. And that's just the reality of the world. There's gonna be some crazy things that you don't agree with. There's gonna be some bad things that pop up. You gotta learn how to navigate those things. And you gotta learn a good foundation to not be swayed by a lot of those things. Like you're talking about with the lights that are distract you, right, Kerry? You gotta really be able to stay focused because you are aware that those things are gonna pop up. That's raising your kids. You bums, please raise your children.
I knew that was coming. I hadn't
told them in a while.
I mean, hey, it is what it is. They gotta know though. You know what I'm saying? That light coming.
Important.
That light coming. It's some people. I think it's crazy how some people have understood themselves so well that they know how to manipulate their light to like, try to get you to do something that you don't necessarily want to do, or do something that may not be within your moral code. You know what I'm saying? And you got to know how to be able to deflect that, because everything not for you. Everything is not for you. And it started at home to be able to, understand like where you coming from. Because I think, even as a faulty background, like if you come from a bad background, you see people that come from parents, both drug addicts or, locked up, foster homes, and they end up amazing people. They're doing great things in this world is because of their ability to respond. Like you're not just reacting out here. They learned how to respond. Like our kids, us, everybody got to know how to respond to these situations. Like these situations will vary. And if we're not equipped, we're going down, baby. We're going down. So gotta stay in the light, dog. Gotta stay in the light. But in closing, fellas, what y'all got for the people, man? You know what I'm saying? Because we kind of talked a little bit about locking those lights within. In my opinion, I think it's important that everybody understands that, there is an agenda out here on the net, on your cell phones, on your TVs, and your peers and your network are bringing it back to you, and it's recirculating. And you got to really, really remove yourself, and do the self-care, do the inner work, do your own thinking, man, for real. Because your mind, you got all the answers for life inside of you, in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul. You got to do the inner work to let your light shine and be able to make the best decisions for you and your family, is what I would say, and leaving with everybody. So what y'all got? Yeah, anybody got some bars?
Yes. Great West Coast philosopher John Kennedy once said, you can't make no real decisions based off emotions. You especially can't make no money. So I feel like y'all should remember that. It's all about emotional intelligence, emotional control. Don't go out there and let emotions ruin your life. Okay? Don't let it ruin your pockets.
Straight up. My thing is boundaries, like you said, Kerry. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, I'm tired of seeing this story and this news story and that news story. And I was like, get off Facebook. You choosing to see that news story. Like, you wake up and your phone, your finger, everybody does it. Your finger automatically goes to Facebook or Instagram. And then you're like, I didn't want to see this. I don't want to see that. You choosing to see it.
What can they do instead, J.Jones? What can they do instead?
Read a book. Meditate. Anything. You find a hobby. Go work out.
Go outside and touch the grass.
Go outside, but like set those walls up. Like Kerry said, I don't know what book you said, but like if your walls down, you always it's open. You open to be attacked. So keep the walls up. If you don't have walls in your house, you have bugs and animals all in it. So make sure you keep the walls up. Set those boundaries with yourself. So that's my thing.
Mine is careful who you connected to. I got a partner that taught me a lot about electricity. Electricity makes a circle, but it has to be connected. It's like if you were to jump a car. I was also taught you ain't supposed to jump every car because you might hurt your own car. But once your cables touch their battery, you connected to that, and they take, a part of you and jump their self off. Gotta watch out who you connected to.
I like that. That's good right there. So, we gave y'all all the gems. We trying to help y'all unlock your lights while we unlocking our lights as well. Anything y'all want to talk about, man, let us know on these social platforms that we sharing this information on. You guys be blessed, stay strong, stay dangerous. And it's another beautiful episode, beautiful build, and y'all be safe.
So 2 cents 6.
What? Bro, you're wild for that.